Welcome to the live stream on a Thursday night above the old line, TobyChristie.com. Glad that you could join us. Tonight we have the whole crew. This is like the first time in a long time that the whole crew's been here. So very excited to have them all here. Rob, Dom, Adam, Ben. Ben, thank you for the comment on YouTube. I totally appreciate it. We love it. So there's clearly a lot to talk about that came out just yesterday, and I'm excited to hear your all's thoughts in the comments as well. A lot of discourse online this week, so we'll kind of just jump right in, closing out like our thoughts from Phoenix, and then we will obviously get into like the elephant in the room, which is those penalties, because I feel like we have some varying opinions on those, but we'll figure it out. But I guess first off, closing out like at least the racing product that we saw at Phoenix, like how did we feel about it? Like the new aero package. Anyone want to just start off with like fast thoughts, closing out the racing product? Okay, we just thumbs down automatically for Rob. Adam, were you?
I liked it. It was better than last year. Last year was pretty rough on those types of tracks, but I really want to see it at a shorter track like Martinsville.
That's fair. I'm with you. Same. Are we all kind of the same?
I thought the race wasn't bad. I mean, obviously, looking back on it, just every race you feel like, oh man, there could have been more action here, there, whatever. Can't expect every race to be the greatest race you've ever seen.
That's fair.
But just in terms of someone who's always looking for the best storyline possible, broke my heart that we didn't get a Harvick win. To kind of close out the storybook of him racing at Phoenix. But the race wasn't, I won't say it was good, but I won't say it was bad.
I will say, don't say that yet, because there's still one more chance for him to win at Phoenix. Granted, could be a long shot, but still there's still a chance.
I think my gripe with the race is more so is Phoenix in itself. I don't like Phoenix as a track. As I mentioned to you guys, I think I mentioned it on Sunday. If you reconfigure a track 3 times in the span of less than a decade, maybe you shouldn't go there twice. I'm all for going to Phoenix. I think it's a great city, and I think it's a great market to tap into. But I don't think you need to go to Phoenix twice a year, especially if it's going to be the championship race. That's a whole nother topic.
To Rob's point, they had been going to Phoenix for a good while before they decided to go to double dates back in 2005. Yeah. So they did over a decade of racing there just once a year before they made the switch.
It's a unique track, and I think it would be nice to go to a track that unique once a year.
Right.
And I don't really have an issue with it being the championship race, because I do think even though the racing isn't exactly great, it's not bad, but it's not great. I think
technical it is.
Yeah, I think with this championship format, it has the opportunity to show who's actually going to be the champion. I think it legitimizes the championship a little bit more, because we saw Logano just flat out speed last year, Larson in the pits the year before that. So I think it's a good track for the championship race. I just don't think we should be going twice a year. Also, I know everybody used to say, like, I remember on Twitter a couple years ago, we used to always say all that for a Hamlin win. I feel like it's now all that for a Byron win.
It's becoming that way.
I feel like that's where we're at now.
Didn't take long, did it? Only 2 races. Now we're already saying that.
Well, look. Are we going to talk about how Byron backs into wins like Bowman does?
Well, I don't know about the Vegas one, but this one for sure.
This one for sure. Yeah. At least in Vegas, he had dominance for like half the race, right?
Well, this one, he was pretty good.
He was good early on. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it. You look at you win in overtime.
To win it.
Exactly.
And then, Rob, what was that stat that you like, or what you thought of, like, with the overtime finishes again?
Okay. So yeah, I did that stat a couple weeks ago after the Daytona 500. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Wasn't it like the first? Every race so far -1 points paying race has been.
Yeah, if you wanna wait in a minute, I can.
I got you.
I can pull it up here, and share it, but it just might take me a minute. Okay, there it is.
Very good.
I'm gonna update it too because we've had 2 overtimes since then. Yeah.
I don't want the season to be the season of overtimes, but it's really becoming that.
I mean, it's 3 of the first 4 races.
Yeah.
Look at how Atlanta's going to race. There's a really good chance it'll happen again.
That makes me upset and nervous.
Yeah. Well, it's going to end. It's going to end under caution. We can already.
Yeah.
It's going to end under caution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And I will say too, just real quick with the Byron win. I mean, I figured there'd be less parity this season just because, you know, we kind of have these Gen 7 cars not totally figured out, obviously, but like there's more of a footprint for having them figured out this season. So I kind of expected somebody to go back to back this early, but I don't think we're going to have that many winners. And I think Byron's proving that there's not going to be that many winners this season because he's probably going to win. I'm guessing maybe like 5 or more. My prediction for him.
William Byron winning 5
I
or
think
more.
so. I do.
Pulling it out and putting it on the table.
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
just saying.
I mean, I get that he's he's the one that's getting the results, but I would vote Larson over Byron because Larson's the one logging all the laps, leading all the laps, and that's what wins you a championship at the end of the day. Because if you look, I mean, yeah, he was winning. He won 10 races in 2021, but he was also flat out dominating those races. So I would put my chips on Larson rather than Byron winning 5 or more.
That's fair. I think for me, though, Byron at least, and again, it's really early in the season, but he's showing promise. I have him in my championship 4. Obviously, we'll get to like penalties and stuff in a few minutes. So things could change potentially, but at least he's like one to lock himself into the playoffs right now. The other Hendrick drivers have not. So it'll be interesting, but Larson is a good bet. I think at the end of the day, he is more seasoned. If we have him, if it could be any driver in the championship for Hendrick, I would say Larson's probably a better bet.
I would put Larson in there in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another stat while Rob's pulling that up is Chevrolet's won 4 in a row so far. Last time that happened, I want to say was 2001. That's right, 2001. The next record to chase is 7 in a row by Chevy in 1995.
Yeah, 95.
Yep.
Good year.
All right, so are we seeing this?
We see this. Might need to make it a little bigger.
Okay, hold up.
Mayhaps.
Hold
Yeah.
up.
For the folks of you that are just joining, we're talking about
Going the wrong way.
kind of breaking that down. We have some stats we wanted to share with you all as well, kind of what we're noticing this season trend-wise. We're early in the season, but
Yeah,
there's
can you
already
read that?
trends. That is so small. Oh my
You
God.
went the wrong way.
Can you
Went
read
the
that
wrong
all
way.
right?
No.
Zoom in.
You said make it smaller.
More.
No, make it bigger. Sorry, you gotta make it bigger.
We
More.
just make it smaller. Crap.
Can you read that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
One more.
Yes,
Give me one more.
One more. Yeah.
Okay,
That's good.
so-
That's good. Yes, 21.
Obviously, we can't see every race here, but you notice for the first couple years, it didn't really change the outcome very much. I mean, we went from starting it in 2004, and then the end of 2009, we only had 6 races result in a different winner. And then as we get to more, I guess you could say, you know, winning meant more or whatever.
Playoff era.
But even like especially now, like look at this since the next gen era, we've only had 1 or 2 overtimes resulting in the same winner regulation. And it's interesting to also note that if we didn't have the overtime rule, Ricky Stenhouse would not have a win.
Yeah.
Ricky Stenhouse wouldn't have a win. I think there's a couple of other drivers here that wouldn't have a win. Now, luckily, from just seeing like championships, there wouldn't be anything changed, at least in the championship race. As far as, you know, positions go here, I wasn't going to do all that math. But yeah, just looking at this, it's really interesting. Even like you look at William Byron wouldn't have gotten his first win at Daytona. That wouldn't have come until he won at Homestead in 2021. And then obviously he wouldn't have his 2 wins this year.
Right. So definitely a trend to keep in mind. And I'm sure, as we talked about, it will continue going into Atlanta this weekend. Also wanted to give a shout out in the comments, NASCAR Talk About Cup Series. We love you. Welcome back.
He's back.
He's back. Yes. And then James, we'll talk about who we think will win on Sunday near the end. And John, we love having you. Thanks for being in the comments. So I guess it's time to talk about, the penalties, something. I'll introduce it and then we'll just dive into it. So here's what we have. So Justin Haley, William Byron, Alex Bowman, and Kyle Larson were fined 100 drivers' points and teams' points and 10 playoff points. The crew chiefs were fined $100,000 and suspended for 4 races. It's the largest combined fine for a team in NASCAR history for Hendrick Motorsports. In terms of how this shakes up, like the points and everything, Bowman was first in points, right? First in points. Now he moves to 27th in the point standings, I believe. Byron moves to 32nd in points. Now he only has 3 playoff points. Larson moves to 34th in points, minus 9 playoff points. So that's what I have on the points situation. Hendrick does plan to appeal this. Colleague plans to appeal this as well. Their reasoning was only one of the hood louvers was taken off and inspected. I guess the other one was fine. So their thing is there was an inconsistency in the parts, which made them use the other louver that they had. Hendrick Motorsports, again, plans to appeal. But I guess that's the first penalty we'll talk about. There's 2 more to talk about. So we'll just discuss this first. The topic is this penalty fair? Because those parts never actually hit the track. What do we think about this penalty?
Anyone else getting 2007 flashbacks?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it didn't hit the track, but it was intended to.
Yeah.
That's
the biggest thing. Yeah,
that's where you got to think about it.
Now, and I'm wondering, this is the largest penalty given in NASCAR history, correct? That's what you said.
Yes, combined for a team.
For a team.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking to myself,
got penalized.
yeah, that and that's a good point.
Carl Long would like a word with you.
Yeah, did the 9 get docked anything?
The 9 did not.
Because they're not
They're not taking playoff points right now.
But they're in the owners. They're in the owners.
And the owners' points taken away.
Yeah,
they did. Okay,
yeah.
That was my question.
The driver points, there was no driver points.
Yeah, there's no point in it. Dom really hit the nail on the head. It might not have hit the track, but it was supposed to.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people were kind of comparing it to the Keselowski RFK stuff from the wheels at the beginning of last season. But from what I know and understand is that RFK was very open with NASCAR talking about it and stuff like that, which is why that whole deal kind of worked better for RFK as compared. And I know the reasoning for Hendrick sounded over the weekend was hey, these parts didn't fit our car well, so we modified them. But they didn't talk to NASCAR about it. They just showed up to a racetrack and said, hey, we got these things now. Or they didn't even say anything. So I think it's a fair penalty. I think that was the right call.
And I hate to say that if you're going to ask what team was going to pull this, which one would you say?
Yeah, but also more so, and I say this with respect, what team would pull it and maybe get away with it? Perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And my thing too with the penalty in itself is now this is all NASCAR sourced parts.
Right.
So now there is literally no excuse to have.
And they've been working on it. They've told teams that they're working to get this sorted out. So
yeah. So it's there really is no you can't say that it's legal when it's clearly not, because we're the ones that made the part.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's where it also kind of the end justifies.
Yeah. Luckily it takes the subjectivity out of it.
Yeah, right.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I would say I think the penalty overall is fair. I do 100% agree. These parts were meant to go on the track. So if there's an if and or but about the intent was there to race with the parts. And I do feel that is consistent. NASCAR was consistent with what they did with RFK, in my opinion. So I do enjoy seeing the consistency from them.
The only thing I'll say is I hate to say,
You're like thinking of the words.
Does it matter? Like the way you have made a point system that does not care about points. And for a team that wins races every year, the points don't matter. The points don't, and a team that wins that often. So the fact that this would be huge if it was 2 decades ago.
Fair.
It would. I mean, and if we're being honest, I don't know if the penalty would have been that harsh if it was 20 years ago, because I think, to a certain extent, they know that we're making a statement by docking them these points, but there's a pretty good chance that all 4 teams win a race before the playoffs, especially the way they've been running. But
go ahead.
I will say that the one team that this really screws is Haley and Colleague.
Yeah.
Because now we're 4 races in. They're in a must-win position now to make the playoffs.
We have more points than Justin Haley as NASCAR drivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's bad.
I was like thinking about a counter to Rob's point where it's like, yeah, the points don't matter. And I was like, well, the point is to win. Like the whole point is winning. But then I just told myself, well, the winningest drivers only won the cup twice since the playoff format has started.
I always go back.
But they still won. But they still won at the right time.
Right.
But that's the thing. Should you have to win at the right time, though? That's fair. But I do want to clarify too, Bob Podcrest, what he said about racing. Basically, the intent was to bring the parts onto the track, whatever. So he said NASCAR considers once a car is in the garage, it must have legal parts and pieces. The rule: all race equipment, including but not limited to vehicles, vehicle parts, equipment, and/or fuel, is subject to inspection by NASCAR at any time, manner, and location as determined by NASCAR. But they have to enter the garage with the correct parts. So just clarifying that too. So there's that. I don't know. Do we want to move on to? I feel like we have more opinions about the next penalty I'm going to mention here. So we'll move on to that. Before we move on, though, I do want to say at the top left of your screen, at least it's on the left for me, there's a QR code. If you want to have our social media handles or figure out where else we are, make sure to scan that QR code on your phones. I just felt like I mentioned that because I don't know. I've had it in the past few streams and some people found it helpful. So why not? Let's see. I want to look at the comments too real quick. John said the Hendrick and Colleague penalties definitely got my attention. Hendrick is my favorite team, so I'm obviously disappointed, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the appeal. Yeah, so the appeal, we'll see. I don't know if they'll actually win the appeal, but
I think because it's NASCAR sourced parts, they ain't going to go nowhere.
They got a 50-50 shot. You win or you lose.
Yeah, so.
And I mean, you kind of have to appeal it. If you didn't appeal it, you're admitting that. Yeah, you
don't appeal, you are guilty.
So
everyone deserves their day.
For real. I mean, but speaking of someone who won't appeal, Hamlin won't appeal his penalty. He was fined. I want to make sure I got this accurate. What was it? 25 driver's points and fined $50,000 for admitting the intent to wreck Ross Chastain at the end of the race at Phoenix. He was like, it wasn't a mistake. I meant to do it. Apparently they talked it out at the end of the race and it was like, they're good now. The slate is apparently wiped clean. I would love to have an episode of Actions Detrimental where Ross Chastain's on the podcast, but NASCAR was like, when he admitted intent, we have to act. I won't share my opinions right now. But Dom, I'm going to give you the floor because you said you were really wanting to share your opinions on this.
I don't know. It's like NASCAR just keeps shooting themselves in the foot. I feel like, because you want to entertain, you want the fans to be entertained by hard racing, and you want a Gordon Earnhardt rivalry, you want a Kevin Harvick Kyle Busch rivalry, where you're expecting them to run into each other every race, and if they don't, they're going to have something to say to each other in the media center. You want that kind of attention, but now Hamlin is like fueling it, saying, "Yeah, I meant to wreck him."
Yeah, and
then they come out and penalize him for it. However, they did the same thing to William Byron. Points and fine were the exact same for William Byron when he wrecked Denny Hamlin in a playoff race.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't get. I don't think we're still in the boys have at it era anymore.
Is gone.
Clearly,
No, not at all.
But it's just so difficult for me, especially because now it's like NASCAR has also kind of proven that like the car isn't as safe as it should be. So any sort of wreck can do harm to a driver.
And that's what I was gonna say. It's a safety thing, and
but it's the fan base of NASCAR wants to see a rivalry, and Denny and Ross are aware that they have a rivalry and they're trying to fuel it, but NASCAR shoots it down.
But the thing is obviously we want to see a rivalry, but I can't speak for the entire fan base, but I want to see a Mind Games rivalry. I want to see like a Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards 2011 rivalry, where it's kind of like they're getting in each other's heads in the media center. And they're racing hard as anything on the track. Even more recently, I'll say Verstappen and Hamilton 2021, where neither one intentionally wrecked the other. There were some blocks, there were some moves that weren't great, and obviously with a F1 car, you can't just punt.
It was two guys going for the same spot because they weren't gonna give it.
Right.
Exactly. But it's a lot easier to not give somebody a spot and give them even less room when the car has fenders on it. I agree with the penalty.
To add another F1 quote in there for you, Rob, Ayrton Senna was famous for putting people in a bad position and letting them decide if they wanted to crash or not.
I thought
you were going to say if gap car.
That's a very good quote. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say with the situation, like part of me thinks maybe Denny should have known that there would have been a repercussion for actually admitting truth. And the big issue for me is safety. If we were so I know, but if we were so onto safety though last year,
that's kind of my thing though, is like that's why I don't like it, because it really was they were gonna let it go. They were gonna let it go if Hamlin didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same. Like
after the fact.
It's the Bubba Wallace thing from Texas a couple years ago. Like he admitted to spinning out, and then they're like, "Yeah, we really got to do something now, guys."
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, we're not going to penalize you unless you tell on yourself. Yeah. Well, then I'm not getting penalized for wrecking the guy. I'm getting penalized for admitting it.
Yeah.
And that's the
fair.
That's the caveat to it that I don't like. It's pretty blatant. Context is everything. And context, for the most part, especially on the racetrack, it's pretty easy to read. Hamlin has a top 10 car the entire race. He puts Ross Chastain into the wall the last lap. They're going for the same spot. Clearly, Hamlin has driven that turn over 300 times fine that day. You check the tire. I'm sure the tire was still up.
But here's the thing.
It's still a judgment call, but I mean, there's so much context.
But here's the thing. The quote, and I forget, I don't know if it was Miller who said it in a press conference or a meeting that they had this week, but Bob Pockras posted something. But it was when Denny Hamlin admitted his actions, they were forced to react. That to me says they weren't going to maybe do anything if he didn't say anything.
Yeah, well, it's the Byron thing from last year. Like they didn't see Byron take out Hamlin under caution or whatever. So.
Well, to be fair, we didn't see Hamlin
we didn't see
Chastain until the end. I remember I saw it on Twitter and I was like, "Wait, something happened?"
Yeah.
Now, granted, as soon as Byron crossed the line, I kind of turned it off because I was like,
"You rage quit."
Another Byron.
Well, it wasn't necessarily another Byron win. I was gutted for Harvick, but
yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, Spain without the S, but
for real.
Well, I was really gutted because I had Harvick in the picks.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
We should.
We talk about a Mickey Mouse win. Ben's had 2 Mickey Mouse wins now.
I don't know how. I literally don't know how.
I will say, at least for
look at the numbers for me.
So yeah,
I am
well, look
in
at
the
you.
cellar.
Let's go.
The 22 is down 22. All right.
Ben is currently winning.
Somehow.
Overtook me from this past week. I didn't have a good weekend.
I think I need a smaller number to help.
What weeks did I win?
You
last
won
two
this week. The past 2 weeks, you won.
Yeah.
It comes in twos.
Yeah, we're all doubling down.
So
This
Ben and I are
means-
done winning. I mean, one of you guys is next.
Please let
Better.
it be me.
No,
Rob
I'm
Dom
taking
Rob.
the title and getting that
Please let it be
tattoo.
me.
I've already been cheated out of so many wins this year. It started with Daytona. I was on the same page as Kyle Busch at Daytona.
I will say I got lucky with Daytona. Ryan Blaney somehow pulled out a top 10 finish and saved saved me.
Adam and I have both been
You guys have
screwed out
suffered.
of wins from Harvick.
Well,
So I think Harvick is really who we should have an issue with right now.
Yeah, Kevin
No,
Harvick, we're talking to you.
What's really happened to me is everyone I've picked has DNF'd, and they've been the only cars to DNF in the race.
Yeah. So for context, for those of you who don't know, our point system was made by Adam.
Boo.
And he's been ruined by his own points system, which is
Somebody
crazy.
do not trust
He's been
them.
killed
I
by
wonder-
the beast he made.
I wonder if this is how God feels about his creation.
The Steve
That's-
Buscemi line.
Steve,
And,
I was trying to find the analogy. Ben found the analogy.
yeah. I was like, Steve Buscemi, Spy Kids 2.
Oh man.
God.
That was an obscure reference, Taylor,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it.
Go in the file for that one.
Oh my God.
Dang.
Woo.
So these are our points. I do want to get to the comments real quick. First off, Adam, thank you. I like this Tony Stewart shirt. My sister got it for me, so thanks for the compliment. Heather, John, we had John on the show a little while ago, but it's been too long, so we need to have him back on. And then the Mickey Mouse wins. We love that. We do. Some of us thrive off of it. Some of us despise them. Some of us have benefited from them.
NASCAR Taco Bell. It's funny.
We love him though.
Let us have our joke. Let us have our joke.
It is just a yoke.
I think the last penalty to mention, I mean, not like it's not a big deal, but just to mention it just because, but there's no real controversy with it. The 10 team, 2 crew members suspended for 2 weeks. NASCAR deemed that it was a loose wheel. I know that there was discrepancy between, okay, well, what happened first? Did Almirola hit the wall, then the wheel broke, and then the 10 team said it was because their parts were crappy and the part broke and whatever, but NASCAR said they looked back at it, basically. NASCAR said that they looked back at the footage and they saw the lug nut come off, then hit the wall. So that was the reason for the penalty there. So there is that.
Pretty cut and dry.
But anything else to close out Phoenix before we move on to some NASCAR news?
See you in November.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad 4 races into the season we got to see the championship race.
Yeah. Phoenix was fine. Arca was fun. That's about it.
Hey, we're back on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Fine.
Last time they raced here, Dom and I were both there.
And we had no idea.
We knew, but you were working and I was there as a fan.
Oh, that's right.
So I couldn't get to you, and you wouldn't have wanted to get to me.
I had other stuff going on.
Well, speaking of this weekend, though, I mean, we're going to mention it later, but Dom will be at Atlanta this week.
I will
be. Covering the action for us.
Dombert,
You're
Josiah.
in the infield. Come say hi.
Dombert.
Yeah.
Umberto Josiah.
Wow. That's fun.
Hoping that
That's your new name.
it's absolutely positively going to rain tomorrow.
Yep.
Without a doubt, which makes me very sad because the Legends and Bandoleros are supposed to race tomorrow night.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the last I heard, they are working in tandem with NASCAR and the racetrack to have it moved to immediately following the Xfinity race. So
Okay.
Ooh, that'd be
hopefully some folks stick around to see ATYL's finest, Emma Britt, go racing in the Outlaw.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Up and coming star.
3-time winner in 9 races this season so far.
She's
nice.
killing it.
3, count them, 3 times, people.
Triss.
We will have her on the show at some point. We will. What? It might be next week.
We don't have the time for Emma Britt. She'll talk your ear off. She's awesome.
Honestly, I'm here for it. We need
Big time.
up-and-coming racers on the show. I love talking to them, hearing their stories. She's awesome, so we'll have her on.
But
An
yeah,
interesting note, but Dom talking about the rain. Interesting note that we have not seen Cup qualifying on this new Atlanta configuration.
Oh,
the good thing is, I think it's all the rain's going to be out. It's all going to happen Friday, and then the rest of the weekend should be clear.
Great.
So we will get Cup qualifying.
speaking
Are they doing group qualifying?
I do
No,
not
they're
know.
not.
All I know is that
Okay.
tomorrow is Truck and Xfinity scheduled qualifying.
Truck.
Gotcha.
So
I don't believe they're doing group.
Austin Hill's on pole, everybody.
Yeah. That's where he's gonna stay the entire race.
Honestly, he
Yeah.
won the fall event.
It's pretty good.
And the
He's pretty good
Springler's not in the race, so he could
He
very
looks
well
like
do
the
it.
thumb from Spy Kids to make another Spy Kids reference.
Oh my god.
Taco Bell
Let's
Cup says
go.
single car qualifying.
Mr. Falup.
Yes, yeah. Anyhow, this is Atlanta, right? This is gonna be Atlanta. Hold on, let me pull up. Right?
No, it's Sparta. That hat is drip. Oh my god.
but
So
that's-
nice.
That is so high.
I was disappointed in the hat, if I was being honest. I was disappointed in the hat. I don't like the I don't like the white
Rob.
trucker thing. It's too much of a contrast to me.
I
Oh,
think
come on.
in terms of the paint scheme, Adam will probably agree with me on this. For a Penske car to have a black number with a bright red outline, that's retro.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Throwback to when David Stremme drove the Penske Verizon Dodge.
Right. And then it looks like a number from one of their Indy cars. That makes me
I mean, it
think
kinda
of
does.
the willpower Verizon car right there. That's cool.
How do they already have the diecast for that?
I'm kicking myself for not because it was pre-ordered for like the past since like last October. I feel like
I thought that was the military one. I thought that was the military one they kept.
Well, maybe
talking
that
about.
is.
Where do I buy this hat?
I
You
I
can
need
get
to
it on
find it
Penske's site. They have the diecasts and the
So hot. I got all
I
squiggly
actually-
feeling inside.
Taylor already ordered 3 of them.
Yeah,
I actually kind of want to get the diecast.
done. Always have our
Excuse
body
me for
armor
like
on
2
us,
seconds.
folks. Not a
Excuse
sponsor,
me
but
for
could
like
be a
2
sponsor.
seconds.
Yes.
Love it. Yeah, this paint scheme so far, I know it's a little simplistic for some people, but this is like
And don't worry, I'll make sure to get plenty of pictures.
Dom,
Yeah, do
sorry,
it.
Rob, they have a black version.
A what?
They have
Of
a
the
black
hat?
version of the hat.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, share your screen. Can you
Hold
share your
on.
screen?
Oh, everyone's yelling.
We need
hold
to
on.
see it.
Hold on. Is this it? No, that's not it. Is that it? Yeah, this is it. Do you see?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't like the. I don't like the
Yeah.
rope. I don't like the rope.
You don't like rope?
Oh, bro.
Nah. I have a couple
Mister.
rope hats that I just I'm not a fan.
Like
That's
it.
nice.
It's
I,
$20.
Also, what brand is it? You guys know me. I'm a
Oh, you gotta
hat
know the
snob.
brand. Sorry.
I'm a hat snob.
I'm
Is
brand
it
for the
new?
brands. I
is it
can't
New
see,
Era?
but one. I can't tell. It's just the one
If it-
photo.
If it's not New Era, I don't want it.
My guess is it's not because it's a trucker hat. I'm buying
Fair.
that. That's hot.
Yeah, I love that with all of my
Yeah,
heart.
Hold on. Let's stop sharing my screen that way I don't give up my
I
credit
got
card
you.
information.
I got you. Are you ordering it now?
Yeah, it's hot.
I'm ordering the diecast right now.
What? Okay, well, see, I have a show to run, you guys. I can't.
me
Guys,
and Taylor,
if
we're
you're
just
watching
doing a
this,
hot
donations. We're waiting
Save
for
a diecast.
donations from our generous fans.
yeah, we would like donations. I'm just
We're
kidding.
not
Don't
having-
donate to us.
We're not having like a single stripe flame or like any sort of like actual design. That's a
It's
great looking race
amazing.
car.
So-
It's amazing.
it's so like I noticed this when I used to do more iRacing. I used to do black base cars, like the base was all black and then the designs were like red and blue or whatever for the digital chump stuff that I did. But I started doing white bases and I did not realize how hot white bases could be until I did that. My only like hate is I would love that Goodyear to be black and not blue.
Fair,
But this is drip. This is big drip right here. This is hot.
man. I will say too, with the number placement with this car, it does look great.
It
I
doesn't.
will
Yeah.
give it that.
Yeah, they
That's
did a
how
good
you
job.
utilize that space.
Yes. So I mean,
What
we're
I
a
even
little.
like-
what I really like is how the hood, the openings on the hood, they like. It seems that it blends right into the scheme. It's
Yeah,
like-
it doesn't like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
louvers don't ruin the logo. Like they built
Yes.
it around it. I like it's
I'm manifesting a race win version of this car, so I have this here.
Now we're
Another
cursed.
body.
Mine are over there underneath the sun, but yeah.
All right, just nobody besides Ben picked Blaney. Actually, Taylor and Ben can pick Blaney because they both won with Blaney this year.
I didn't pick Blaney this year.
I did. Daytona 500. He was my pick, and I won it. And then I have my little body armor helmet. I'm all set. I'm ready to go, Ryan Blaney. Just call me. Body armor, call me.
I think he's dating someone.
Well, not like that, but like just like, you know.
We ignore the fact that so is
That
Taylor.
statement was factual,
I
but
am
it's
too.
taken out of
I was
context.
about to say we are disrespecting Sawyer here.
We
I
love
mean,
Sawyer.
I'm sure Sawyer's a great guy, but like, if I was dating Sawyer and Ryan Blaney said, "Hey, boy," I'd be like, "Yes, sir."
Our
That's
love
gonna
for
come
Ryan
back to haunt
Blaney.
me and
It's
take
gonna
me
come
where
back
I
to
go.
haunt
Ben
me.
is unfaithful. That's what he's saying.
That's Ben's hot take for the evening.
It's like, we all have to have at least one during the shows. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So we do have one great paint scheme. Going to another. Okay, hold up. Okay, here we go. This won't be run this weekend.
Rip.
This will be run at North Wilkesboro.
I'm buying the flag,
Wait a
the
minute.
hat,
Wait
the
a minute.
t-shirt,
Wait
the
a minute.
socks,
What?
the diecast.
Wait a minute. What? This is the first time I've seen this.
What?
Rob.
What is this?
Oh my god.
Kevin Harvick announced on Race Hub tonight, or I guess a few hours ago, that he will be racing the number 29 at North Wilkesboro with
Okay,
a
I
Busch
have not been
Leader.
near social media in the last hour and a half.
Oh, there you
Throwback
have
to
it.
That is-
2001.
Oh my god, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Drip.
What?
We're going to be spending so much money.
Dude,
Let's go.
I just bought
I
the
bet
hat.
you kind of just got waxed.
You just bought the
on
hat?
I
that.
wish you.
Yeah. Taylor, I
I
said it
would-
was mine. Oh, I almost swore. Oh,
We've been doing good on the spur jar this year.
I'll just drop
I've
it
been
right
doing
now.
great. I corrected myself immediately.
I'm proud of you.
Everybody else started slacking, and then I got mad.
Yeah. We're doing
Because
okay,
I'm
though.
like,
I want to also, sorry, we'll talk about the scheme again in a second.
Yeah.
In the order notes thing on Penske's team site, you can put like a note, and I just wrote, "I love this hat."
Yes.
somebody's gonna really appreciate that.
Man, I need to go to their website right now. I'm not going to order because, we're working right now. But,
Yeah,
Imagine if he wins in that car. That's what he's gonna
Oh.
I'm gonna do a lot of illegal things that I can't
You know,
talk about in this.
Yeah. If things were perhaps rigged, I wouldn't be mad. Just,
Where's the script?
where's the script?
Where's
The
the script?
600,
Let
the
me
600 Charlotte has a script.
let me make some edits. Is there merch for this car yet?
No,
I don't think
wait,
so.
hold on.
But if there is, we're all
Let me check.
spending a lot of money
Y'all
tonight.
got-
Lionel
let me
has
know.
the pre-order up.
Oh
Looks
my
like,
god.
which is the very Lionel thing to do.
Yeah.
Stewart Haas Racing, who are going to get shut down because they're dealing with illegal countries. Let's see. You can pre-order the T-shirt. Yeah, I said it. I ain't gonna.
What?
Yeah, we're just gonna, like, let it fly.
I was going to say he went from Formula One to NASCAR.
Yeah.
And he has made he has bridged the gap.
Stewart Haas Racing has diecast pre-order, T-shirt order, decals,
I'm
flag,
getting a t-shirt.
koozie,
Hold on.
magnet, and that's it.
They don't have a hat. What the heck?
Yeah, they
I
don't
will
have a hat yet.
say this might be biased, but it might not be
Ridiculous.
because I don't think it's biased. But Kevin Harvick has some of the best merch, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Up there.
He's got some good stuff.
It's up there.
It's great, especially the shirts.
He has some of the best paint schemes.
That's
Yes.
true. That is
That
true.
is absolutely.
I just
true.
wish Colleague would come out with more stuff because they've got like nothing.
Yeah. Oh, you can
Why?
get
Because
29%
they're
off
investing their
your
money in
online
race
merch order.
cars.
What? With
I bought the
Colleague?
black hat, by the way.
I'm gonna get the white hat. Oh my gosh, we can like match, but not. Let's wear them at Mid Ohio. Let's do it.
Well, yeah.
Let's not though.
I'm
Maybe not.
Now,
Let's not and say
Well,
we
that's
did.
escalated.
Let's be friends. Let's not be friends.
I'm indecisive.
I can tell. Anyway,
Anyhow,
there's another car I'm anxious to see, but I have not been able to find a picture. Is Daniel Suarez is doing the Quaker State as a primary this weekend?
yes.
Pretty good schemes.
We need to find it.
is it
Yeah.
sites?
Can anybody
Is
find it?
stuff?
Not
If
on
you guys in the
James, but I'm
comments
looking.
want to help us out finding that one, go for
No,
it.
I
If
don't
you
think
guys-
ASMR.
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
think they've
it's probably
posted
not-
it yet.
That is.
That's interesting.
It'd be awesome to see it.
I just
Bring
can't
in-
believe that Harvick is changing his number, which is
That's goaded.
when is
Hendrick
the
did it-
last?
Legendary.
Well, it'll be for the All-Star race. So
When's the last time a driver has changed their number?
Kyle Busch, the 75 car.
Yeah.
The All-Star.
Okay, that's I was thinking because I couldn't remember whether it was that or when Jimmy and Mark Martin changed numbers in 2011.
Wait,
Kyle did it in like 14.
That would have been 2016. It would have been 2016 because that's when he drove that.
That was 16.
Yeah, that really boring
75.
Yeah.
And 75.
Oh my gosh.
And now they left the sport.
Oh, well, wow.
Rest in
peace,
love M&M's.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah, M&M's
was a good run.
M&M's doesn't exist anymore.
No, you won't find them in stores.
Family.
Yeah. Only Reese's now. Everything goes back to Harvick.
Adam, Austin Hill has to run a Reese's throwback at Darlington.
He does.
Manifest it. Make it happen.
Obligated.
He has to.
Here's what I'm wondering.
Everybody, ATYL seance. We're gonna summon a Reese's throwback for Austin Hill. Does anybody know how to do this? I don't.
If Stewart-Haas Racing as a whole, all of their drivers should throw back to Harvick in some way. I think that'd be nice. Kind of like what they did with like Jimmy
Tony Stewart.
and Tony.
Yeah.
Like they did for Jimmy Johnson.
And all these other drivers.
That was Hendrick.
It was Hendrick, but still, same rules apply.
All the Stewart-Haas cars will.
The hard thing is now is that we split the there is. I don't feel like there's a true throwback weekend now.
Yeah.
Now that Darlington has 2 dates, apparently they can't decide on which race they want to run the throwbacks.
I think they've dedicated the first race to be the throwback weekend.
Yeah, they market it as, but then we saw drivers last year that didn't run one for the throwback race, and then they would run one for the playoff race, which didn't.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
People don't open their emails.
Who reads their emails? Come on, just kidding. No. Emails.
What's this email technology you speak of?
Not mail.
The internet is just a fad.
Welcome.
Phone books, they'll survive.
My God.
Phone books and rotary dial telephones.
We have one in our office.
You do? A rotary phone?
Rotary, yeah. A guy bought it at the yard sale and he set it up and it works.
I love that.
What Ben doesn't tell you is they also have dial-up internet.
I mean,
yeah, my TV station's in the 1990s right now. It's great.
Yeah.
We still use a fax machine at our office. I found out last week that Ricky Stenhouse won the 500.
Oh, Lord.
You guys are lucky. I get more.
And I was at the race.
Oh, wait, I have a fax coming in. Guys, Jeff Gordon's retiring in 2015.
What?
Wait, what? Hold on. There's something else coming in. Mark Martin's driving for Ginn? What the heck is Ginn? What the heck is Ginn Racing?
Yikes.
Oh, wow.
NASCAR news-wise, is that all we wanted to discuss? Was there anything else you guys had in mind?
I don't have another fax coming in yet, so I think we're good.
As far as the Cup Series goes, I think that might have been it. Talking about the penalties from Phoenix and then those paint schemes that were just announced. I know that there's news. I will say for COTA, the lineup there, but I wanted to wait to talk about it
for COTA
until we get there, because that's the whole thing with stuff we can bring in.
Good drivers.
I do want to say we didn't bring this up for Phoenix, but let's give a shout out to Sammy Smith getting his first Xfinity win. Also, shout out to Ryan Truex for finishing second again.
Yeah,
but he's gonna get one at some point.
He will.
He really deserves a full-time ride with Gibbs. He's been driving part-time with Gibbs.
I've been saying that about Ryan Truex since 2011, bud. It ain't happening.
He's great. He just needs a full-time shot.
Sorry.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Oh my God. Hi.
Hello.
In case you guys are in the comments, Judy Kitchen is my mama, my grandma. So
you liked my Instagram post once, and I think followed me.
Yeah.
Hi.
We're all
Instagram. What's that?
Yeah, Sammy Smith killed it on Saturday.
Yeah, Sammy Smith.
I've been watching him in ARCA for the past year and a half now. And he's been killing it. Something I'll mention really fast before Taylor changes topic, since we're on NASCAR news. Big news in Nashville. The Fair Board approves the plans to renovate the Speedway, the fairgrounds. So it sounds like there is a lot of traction starting to roll there, which is a big deal. I know there's been back and forth between actual city people and the race fans themselves. So this is a really big moment.
Race 2024,
possibly.
Would be cool, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely could be doable. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm curious. I'm going out for the Arca East race in a couple months. Sorry, time has no meaning anymore. I'm curious to see the crowds like there. But yeah, a big deal. Sounds like it's coming out of Nashville right now, and it sounds very exciting. So,
well,
plot twist: they're running the street course.
So also,
they run out I-40 to Lebanon and back.
God.
Also, I'll mention this just because it's in a couple weeks, and I don't know when we're supposed to meet again. But so for Richmond, the NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour races that weekend too. They race on Friday night, and a couple Cup stars are going to be racing in it. Bobby Labonte is going to be in it. Ryan Newman's going to be in it, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but I saw it on Facebook yesterday that Corey LaJoie has a ride again, and he won last year at Martinsville, so he's going to be going for his. He's going to be trying to go for two for two in the series, and I will be there. I will be doing the photography for NASCAR Roots for that race, so I am very excited to be doing that. I've never been to Richmond before, so really excited for that. Excited to see my guys run for the first time this year, and should be a fun night. I'm only going to be there for Friday. I'm not sticking around the whole weekend. I don't have the money to get a hotel for the weekend and cover the whole weekend. But Friday will be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's exciting. I feel like there's a lot of exciting opportunities and things happening this year. All motorsports, all personal for us. So I'm excited for that. Excited for you, Rob. That'll be awesome. So that'll be cool. I wanted to mention too, speaking of what we just talked about with the tracks and everything, there was news about California Speedway, Fontana, whatever you want to call it, Auto Club. As of yesterday,
pour one out.
As of yesterday, the track's website now redirects to a page on NASCAR site that explains that because Auto Club's naming rights were expired on the 15th, which was yesterday, it's now not necessarily existent, but not really. So now their account on Twitter and everything else is called Next Gen California. So everything about Auto Club is no longer Auto Club, it's Next Gen California. So that's something interesting too. So we'll see what happens with that track.
I didn't know about the social media thing.
Nice condo complex.
That's it.
Oh God.
I didn't know about the social media thing. That sounds a little bit more promising to me. When I just heard about the redirecting the site, I'm like, oh, okay.
Here,
well,
let me pull it up real quick because I was concerned too, and then I was like, oh, okay, because on social media they're serious about it. They have. It's promising. It's not like it's gone off the face of the earth. It's just Next Gen California.
It says recreation also on there?
Sports, fitness, and recreation.
Yeah.
So most tracks will market themselves as
booming real estate market.
Yeah, that's what's puzzling for.
Like I said on Twitter the other day, basically the short track is looking at NASCAR and going, "You used me for land development."
Pretty much.
That wasn't very nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. Lots to be nervous about, excited about. I thought that was an interesting development that came out today.
What a great track that we're losing. It's a shame. It really is a shame. I get it. Obviously it's a business move, and
they made bank off that move.
They made a lot of bank off of it.
Made a lot of money back.
$500 million or something.
Which I'm really hoping. See, and I wish they would. I am not a money person, but I wish they would allocate that. Honestly, I wish they'd allocate it into building a new track somewhere.
I think they're allocating the money that they got from that, at least from what I've read, into helping the infrastructure at other tracks and putting it into different things. They're not just going to put it all into rebuilding this; they're putting it into other things as well.
So to verify that too. There's two very prominent companies that own racetracks in NASCAR. There's SMI, which owns Charlotte, Bristol, Atlanta, and then
you'll be able to tell they've got the logos at all of them.
And then there's ISC, International Speedway Corp, which is Daytona, anything that ends in International Speedway, pretty much Daytona, Talladega, Michigan, Kansas. Well, NASCAR bought ISC. So now NASCAR owns all the ISC tracks. So that would explain why they're putting all that money into those races. They're putting it all into the racetracks they own now.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I like it for the fact that we're going to be able to upgrade some other tracks. So, or at least help other things. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Again, Auto Club won't be on the schedule next year for obvious reasons. But yeah, will be interesting to see what happens in the future. But we'll move on now to kind of previewing the weekend ahead. So Atlanta with our track facts and driver stats. All right. So here's what we have. Pretty sure everything's accurate on here. If they're not, I fact checked, so don't kill me. So race length, it's 400 miles. Last year, I believe, was 500 miles. So we shortened it.
So yeah, this is the first time since 1960 there won't be a 500-mile race at Atlanta.
Which,
thank God.
I mean, yeah.
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
Drink to that. So like it should be a more, I don't want to say more tolerable race, but it should be at least. So yeah, so there's that. And then for our driver stats, now here's the thing. I'm not putting Chase Elliott's stats in here. He does have the best average finish of the active drivers, but because he won't be racing, I was like, why add his stats in if it's not going to help your fantasy lineup? So the last driver to win at this track was William Byron. So we have that. Active driver with the most track wins, Kevin Harvick has 3. It was Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch had, I think, 4. But obviously, with him no longer in the car, makes me sad. Now that title goes to Kevin Harvick for the active drivers. Ryan Blaney has the best average finish, 12.1. The team with the most track wins, from what I was able to count, Hendrick Motorsports with 16, and then the wins by manufacturer, what I counted from driver averages and everything like that. Chevrolet with 44, Ford 35, and Toyota with 3. So there's all that. So hopefully that helps your fantasy lineups a little bit. If not, that kind of sucks, but it's okay. So,
if it doesn't, sucks for you.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, sometimes
I don't give a toot.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't. But so I guess talking about who we think has a good chance going into this weekend. Do we think that Byron could be a 3-peat winner? Do we think he could win 3 in a row?
Unfortunately.
Yeah? Unfortunately. You're really just anti-Byron over here.
When was the last 3 in a row winner?
Probably Harvick or Kyle Busch.
Either Harvick or Busch.
Oh.
Actually, no, it might be
Larson.
Larson.
Racing reference.
Racing reference.
If we only had
Larson.
Yes, it was Larson because he was going for 4 at Pocono.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And then his tire yeeted.
Chaos.
His tire
his tire said, "All right, I'm gonna head out."
Yeah, I'm a
tunnel turn.
Is that another race that Alex Bowman backed into? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, actually,
It
was later in the season. Actually, Larson won Charlotte Road Course, Texas, and Kansas back to back to back.
Oh, he pulled a Jimmy Johnson.
We were wrong.
He was going back to back to back in the chase.
Check the facts.
Yo.
And then Bowman ruined that one too. He won at Phoenix or Martinsville, that race, whatever.
Speaking of the Bowman curse, we won Pocono and then we lost the Pocono doubleheader.
Oh,
yeah.
We need to have a word with Bowman.
One of the greatest
doing LY.
Yeah, but okay, he won at Vegas last year and nothing happened to Vegas.
Yet.
I guess because what happened. I guess because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I answered my own question, but
no, because he won at Vegas, we ended up losing Kurt Busch at Pocono. It all ties back.
Yep.
Gosh.
We lost a driver instead.
Harvick was the last driver before.
Why do you say that, Adam? I don't have my
really.
tinfoil
And that was
hat
2020, right?
That was
2018. Harvick won 3 in a row at Atlanta, Vegas, Phoenix. Actually,
Okay.
Kyle Busch did it later that year at Kyle, Bristol, Richmond. Brad Keselowski actually did it before that or later in the season at Darlington, Indy, and Vegas.
Yeah, 2018 was a weird year, and those were his only 3 wins that year.
Yeah.
They were.
He just rattled them off real quick and said, "All right."
God,
I remember that.
For me, 4 in a row. That's harder to get.
Because it took him so long to win that year.
Yeah.
It's hard to. I mean, obviously, it's hard to get.
Ben is really here with the ASMR.
But I think Hendrick will be. I think Hendrick will be good. I am interested to see how Blaney does. I am very I get it's really funny to think that Blaney could win a race, but
He's never winning again, dude. It's over.
No.
It's over.
He's next Casey Kane.
But he was good at Atlanta last year.
He was.
Fair. He was. He's got a super
in
speedways
both
too.
in both races. Bubba was good in the spring race, and obviously he's really good at super speedways. The thing that, and Dom, I don't know if they talked about Bubba much during that broadcast, but I noticed that entire race he was kind of leaning back. He
talking about summer last year.
Yeah, the summer Atlanta race. Bubba was kind of in that second pack the entire race.
He was kind of just like sitting there, like almost like expecting attrition in front of him, and was like trying to not be in the way, but also be like, okay, well, if nothing happens, at least I'm close.
Yeah. Like it was enough to be out of that initial mess, but not enough to be a letdown. And actually, I think he did get caught up in one of the accidents.
With it, I mean, it's banked. It runs like a super speedway, but it's narrow, so you really don't got much. I mean, wherever you're at double file, you're kind of just sitting there.
Something big we may or may not have mentioned. Pit road entry going into turn.
That's changed.
I didn't mention that. That's insane. That's going to be interesting to see.
That's my opinion. That's a great move because
I think so too.
There is so much more open space on the backstretch.
Yeah.
Whereas like pit entry before, I mean, it was a 1.5 mile pit entry where just you knew people were going to be able to go to the top because you were normally single file, or that rare 2 wide would break off so that you would let the guy pit. So now you don't have to worry about melee.
It's going to offer super speedway pit entrance.
Yeah.
Pit entrances, which is
needed.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah. That's a really good move. I think Hamlin is going to be one to watch too. Hamlin. Obviously, it's a super speedway race. He runs well.
Do we think Harvick maybe?
It's not the same Atlanta.
I know.
I wish.
Maybe
it's not the same Atlanta.
Throw the dice.
Yeah,
this is the worst timeline.
It really all comes down to what manufacturer puts themselves in the right position.
Yeah, because there's going to be a gaggle of Chevrolets. There's going to be a gaggle of Fords.
How narrow this track is, you could literally knock everybody out of your way and just hold the top. If you've got 6 Chevys in the top 6, like those other 2 manufacturers have no shot at winning the race unless they take each other out. Like they have 0 chance of winning it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gibbs, the whole Gibbs bunch is going to show up. I think. Because Bell was another one that ran well.
Christopher Bell has really been like
he has.
He's been an outlier with the
best Toyota driver out there,
and that's been for the last calendar year.
Yeah,
that's true. And I will say with Toyota though, at this track and with super speedways in general, their success depends on their pit stops.
Yeah,
we see them lose it. They might have a really strong race, and then on the pit stops they lose it because each other lose the pack.
Like Hendrick is guaranteed to get their guys out on time, if not quicker, whereas Gibbs. Like, it's crazy that, like, Gibbs, and I would even argue Penske, who are, like, they're coming to pit road. They've done what they can. Let's hope they can take care of them in the pits. But
now,
it seemed like Hendrick, like, they're just expected to get them out quick.
Now, if Martin Truex wins this weekend,
I'll die of happiness.
Do we say he's gotten his first super speedway win?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
say it.
The way they, absolutely. No, Atlanta's a super speedway. No
Will Martin Truex win this weekend? Yes.
If he doesn't now, I'm going to come back and haunt you all in your sleep.
If Truex wins, he has to
pick him.
Already pick him. That's not happening.
Oh, well.
He's not winning.
We're going to jinx everybody.
Let's jinx everybody.
Also, I'll say keep an eye on the colleague cars.
Yeah.
Justin Haley was not bad last year.
I think he'll be sneaky fast.
So
well, he was at least I think he was top 15 in both, but he was top 10 in the summer race.
Yeah.
Corey LaJoie, watch out. That honestly, that's the one. Watch out for Corey LaJoie.
I put him on my list this week for a sleeper pick.
He was a dark horse pick for me. Yeah, and we'll see. It'll be a fun time.
No one said Ross Chastain, and he was
bad.
Finished
second in both.
Wrong.
He was bad last year in both races. Keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye on everybody, I guess.
It is.
Keep an eye on half the
that's the
field.
thing is we're talking about these guys and then like because it's Atlanta, but at least I forget it's a different Atlanta.
Yeah.
I would have said Larson, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. I would have said those are the guys you got to watch.
I think Kyle Busch, the way he raced at Daytona, that has to give RCR a lot of excitement. I think they'll be really strong. Hamlin and Christopher Bell, if they can work together, they could be unstoppable. So for those reasons, I'm taking Todd Gilliland.
Wait, is he in the car? Or is it Zane Smith this week?
He's running the full year.
Well, he's switching out
okay,
between
he's
He's switching out between like the 38 and like the 36, right?
Speaking of that, though, McDowell's a good one too.
Yeah,
he is. Basically, anyone who's decent at super speedway racing, you should definitely have in mind. But keep in mind, though,
Logano did not do well the last year at Atlanta. That's the one that like peeks out to me. Like, who do you think about Daytona Talladega? Joey Logano, of course, he's very good there all the time.
Right.
Hasn't figured out Atlanta yet, so maybe be cautious if you're thinking Logano because of his super speedway prowess.
But you should think Cindric.
I got one.
Well, Cindric will boot.
He's got one. He's got one.
Corey LaJoie.
We already said Corey LaJoie.
I just said Corey LaJoie.
Go poop.
Really?
We're gonna take Corey LaJoie. I think I'm gonna put Corey LaJoie. I think I'm gonna put
Ty Dillon.
Ty Dillon.
No.
I forget it's even in the series.
Look, it's Mike Rockefeller or bust.
Oh my god. For me, like I don't know. I think
Jimmy running this race. Jimmy should be running this race.
God, no.
That's next week. Don't talk about next week.
No. Let's not jinx drivers until it's the week of. How about that?
I'm surprised Jimmy's running Coda, if I'm being honest.
He is running the 600 week, which I'm like,
that makes sense. I think he'll be competitive. But him running Coda, I'm like, we watched you run IndyCar for how many years?
Oof, really
I love Jimmy. I love you, but yeah,
put him on blast more.
You had 84 wins in one game on a road course.
Let's see. Well, I don't know. Let's see who you all think is going to win. Mike just chimed in. He said Bubba or Blaney will win.
Yeah, I like those picks.
I like those picks. My grandma, Judy says Larson will not win.
Go, Judy.
Okay. The way Judy thinks.
Not even picking a winner.
Winner of the people, Judy Kitchen.
I like Judy.
Adam L.
Logs on just to tell you who's not.
I'm Adam L.
Adam in the comments says Byron will not win.
Bold statement, Cotton.
See. So yeah, I think I got to all your comments there about winning predictions. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. I don't know. I think a Bubba Blaney pick is good. I do want to see. Well, anyone I say I want to see win, I'm gonna jinx them, so I might as well not.
Shh.
We might as well just end things right here because I'm gonna jinx people. Don't do it. So we'll end things here, guys. That has been the live stream on a Thursday night, the Above Below Line in TobyChristie.com live stream. We have our social handles right on the screen for you. If you want to scan the QR code in the corner of your screen, it should be probably on the left side. It's on the left side for me, but if you want to scan that QR code, it's a list to all the ATYL crew members, social media pages as well, ways to support us, and other social media outlets that I am on as well, as you can also see on your screen. TobyChristie.com. They're on all social media platforms, so follow them for other great motorsport content. And also, because ATYL is back in the main season, we have normal weekly episodes recapping the races. So that's on Spotify, Anchor, Audible, wherever you get your podcast is where we are. So make sure to check those out. And again, social media, that's where we're at. I literally post TikToks every single day talking about the latest NASCAR news. And why wouldn't you want to see that? So make sure to follow us there and everywhere. But guys, this has been another episode of the ATYL live stream. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Tell your friends, family about us. Bring them in next week as well. And we'll talk to you later.